it's morning somewhere in the world, so let's get to it here. I had a meeting this morning, so I was not able to do my Wu-Tang Wednesday in the morning. So we're doing it this afternoon because I really want to draw something. So today we're going to work on Rza from Wu-Tang. I don't know about you. I'm excited about watching the next episode of Wu-Tang, which dropped. I'm not going to pretend I'm like a big Wu-Tang fan. I've enjoyed their music. But they're not personally my favorite hip-hop. But like I said, I don't dislike them. On paper, I love them. Big group of people together inspired by Chinese films and anime and comic books. That's why Ghostface Killah is also known as Tony Stark. So, I mean, I got lots of respect for the Wu-Tang. But I'm not going to pretend like I'm like their biggest fan or anything like that. 'Cause I'm not. Fully admit that I'm not. But I am really enjoying the TV show, at least the first 3 episodes. Fourth one just dropped today. I have not watched that yet, so looking forward to that. But that's later. I gotta wait for the kids to come home. I'll probably watch it tonight.
A few things. Hey, one, you're probably wondering why I have completely different pants on. Well, I ended up leaking, the leak ended up leaking through my pants. I assume that was the case. And,
Okay. Should talk over this. Anyways, what else am I doing here? Oh, today is also 9/11. So we can't forget the tragedy that happened on this day in 2001. Foreigners came into our land and corrupted our society by Nickelback dropping their album Silver Side Up, forever changing the course of America, for some reason having a bunch of hits. Never forget. I know something else happened today too, but it's all wrapped up in jingoism and racism, so we're going to ignore that. We're just going to hate on Nickelback. We're going to love the Wu-Tang and hate the Nickelback. That sounds like a great day to me. I like Nickelback a lot, but they are legit good people, so, I might mock their music, how they kind of boy band-defied hard rock. But, like, them personally, they're good people, man. So Jack Kroger, if you're listening, just know, I know you're a good guy. My mockery is of love. But anyways, that's pretty much all I got for y'all. I just feel in general that 9/11 doesn't remember the right lessons. And so the people who post stuff like, never forget, tends to forget the important stuff. Like how it was used to lie us into a war, how millions of people are literally dead now because of it. Edging comedian to get first responders the health care they need. I mean, there's so much bad stuff to go along with it. So why not mock Nickelback on my Wu-Tang Wednesday? Now, my favorite thing about the RZA, and I think this is probably why he's my favorite, is he knows what's up. Um, the 90s, like most Wu-Tang, dropped solo albums, and, he's no different. He dropped an album called Bobby Digital, and he was smart enough to get Bill Sienkiewicz to do this amazing blaxploitation cover for the album. It's, excuse me, if you're a Sienkiewicz fan at all, you got to check that out. Stop this right now. Pause it. You don't have to stop it. Go look up that. They do exist. Um, I personally never got it. I remember kept wanting it, and then either not having the money, or when I did have the money, I don't feel it. I kind of regret. I would have been happier with the Bobby Digital poster. But seriously, legit good album cover art right there, because he knows what's up, and he got the man himself, Bill Sienkiewicz. But he's also directed some of the best episodes of the Iron Fist on Netflix. Which, all right, guys, that show was overall bad, but I think it kind of redeemed itself towards the end. I kind of feel sad that they canceled it before they could actually see if they actually fixed the show. Like, it was kind of heading in the right direction. So props for the showrunners for that, for saving it. But yeah, he directed a couple episodes, and they were some of the better ones. And if I remember correctly, I think he did the score for Kill Bill. Which is kind of cool. Ooh, there we go. It's looking pretty smooth. go. All right. Well, curiosity does kill the cat. We're not going to do Inception. It's not loading. That's fine. We won't worry about it. I guess I won't see what y'all are saying until after I finish. That'll work out better. Woo! So, yeah. That's looking pretty good. I got any stories? Not really. Did kind of have a realization today. What's been driving me nuts is why Washington insiders like Pete Buttigieg. Or Buttigieg. I already say it. I don't know. Particularly, I don't care. Because, I mean, to me, and this is just watching the town hall he did in South Bend after Eric Logan was shot by the police down there. Like, he seems like a kind of cold and inhuman technocrat who's not really, he seems more annoyed that he's doing it than anything else. He seemed really annoyed that he had to say Black Lives Matter. You're acting, people don't know that you feel that way. And kind of watching him at in South Bend, I tend to think of him as representing systemic racism. Yet at the same token, he's a smart enough dude to get up there and actually have a discussion that, America's problems are part of systemic racism. So I've been trying to figure out what his appeal is, because, the media says he's charming, but I don't see that. I see a very kind of cold and, here's the thing. Like not everybody shows emotion the same way. I get that, and I'm trying to not put anything too bad on him, because I don't necessarily believe he's a bad person. I mean, there are people who we can put bad stuff on, like Steve drinking toilet water king, or Donald Trump, who are both absolutely horrible people. But at the same token, he's kind of, it's really shown that he's just not ready for this. And the real is what his appeal was to some of these people, and it all goes back to a concept in understanding comics. Um, One of the beauties of cartooning is that you simplify things so people can understand it. Now, right now, obviously, I ain't cartooning; I'm doing a portrait, so it's gonna look like my man here, Rza. Um, so you unless you're Rza and you're watching this, which is freaking cool. But if you're not Rza and you're watching this, you can't put yourself in as Rza. You can relate to his character on the TV show because I think he since he's the lead character, he's certainly the most relatable. But you don't just because he's the most relatable in the show does not necessarily mean yeah, when you're looking at this, you're not putting yourself in his. I think the only two people that could really put themselves as maybe The Rock. Kind of looks like The Rock in this picture. When The Rock had hair, and he wore glasses like that. I don't think he ever had a beard. But anyways, the point is that when you're looking at Charlie Brown, because Charlie Brown is so simplified, you can put yourself into Charlie Brown. And you can, same thing with a lot of other comics. You know, Your Rules, Bone. I mean, Bone's actually a great example because, they're even more simplified than just a human form. They're just like little white blobs. I'm a little white blob. Kind of comes around, it works out nicely. Well, Pete Buttigieg is kind of the political equivalent to that. And if you notice, he kind of is running that way too, because except for the Douglas plan, which I really do feel he put out. Again, not to say that he doesn't care, and that's not something that's important to him. I'm not gonna assume because I don't know him, but I'm not gonna assume the worst of him. But the reason why he dropped a detailed plan was in part because of how badly that town hall went. Trying to save face a bit there. This Wu tattoo. But I think a lot of the people who actually are supporting him is they look at him and they feel that they can put their politics in him, whether or not he represents them or not. And it happens a lot with candidates. You really saw that with Barack Obama too. But Barack Obama was not an empty suit. There was something else there. Plus, he was extremely talented. As a politician. Whether or not you liked everything he did, and Lord knows I didn't. Plenty of stuff to criticize him about, but that being said, he wasn't this blank slate that people could, fill up with what's inside of them. It's a bit like how people create their own personal Jesus. Ooh, I gotta start singing me some Depeche Mode. No, that'll demonetize me. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to find somebody that you can put yourself into and support as a politician. But I find, based on what he's done. I don't feel he deserves to be that kind of vessel for the American people. Plus, I mean, he is a technocrat. And the problem is technocrats don't tend to do well in the general. Now, again, Obama was a little different because of that natural talent he had, and he's definitely, quite easily to say he's probably the most talented politician of my lifetime. I mean, that was always at least in part, the appeal of Reagan and George W. Bush was the fact that they were both fairly personable, and so was Obama. And he had that resume that Democratic insiders look for. Like, oh, he's a Rhodes Scholar and can speak 40,000 languages. I'm going to pretend he's just like me. And they're also trying to make this narrative about how black people aren't supporting Buttigieg because he's gay. And it's like, I don't think that's why they're not supporting him. I think they're not supporting him because he doesn't support the black community. Go back and rewatch that town hall. Seems more annoying than anything about having to do it rather than, caring for the community. I mean, that was his community that this happened in. And instead of being empathetic and trying to own trying to be part of the community, he's just like a lot of empty platitudes. And if you look at TYT Investigates, really showed that that there's a lot of emptiness there. Because he seems to be the Washington Insider's pick. I haven't quite figured out who's supporting Biden yet. Name recognition. Because I was rewatching the debate in Gushian, I think that's how it's pronounced. Gushian's channel on Twitch. Last night, and man, Biden had a bad go of it. I can't imagine anybody watching that and thinking, go to Biden 30330. Like, and not be mocking him. I just did. And it was still great seeing Tulsi go after Kamala Harris. Quite amused at seeing on Twitter people trying to defend Kamala. Now, I don't really get the full blown love that she seems to receive. Um, I get that she's a very talented politician, so respect where it's due there. But still, a record. I think the only good thing she did when she was AG is to go see. Oh, and if y'all are into musicals, which I'm not, I appreciate it though. It's the story and what it's about and whatnot. But if you're into musicals, check out Aaron McKeown's "Missy Like Hell" soundtrack. It's about a family getting torn apart through deportation. Done as a musical. This was written in the Obama era too, by the way. I don't know. It's based on a book, and I don't know when the book came out off the top of my head. I'm drawing y'all, so you have to look that up on your own. But I mean, the play came out in like 2015, 2016. Just a reminder that these type of deportations and whatnot and tearing families apart is nothing new here. That don't look too bad. Let us bring in some highlights. Alright, that, and we go here. There we go, that looks better. There we go. Not a bad start. Let's get this here. I just realized if somebody's never watched me before and they just start off and hearing me go on about 9/11 and Nickelback, I'm going to get some angry comments. It's going to be beautiful. I don't know what's going on outside. There's some hubbub happening. That does not look too bad. Alright. Let's get some highlights on this hand. You can tell he gets his fingers manicured. Nothing wrong with that. One of my buddies in Baltimore used to do it. Just like, man, at first I was just like, I ain't gonna do that. And then one of my friends finally convinced me and I went and like, man, this is great. I mean, it looks good. So, especially whenever you're trying to impress. It's always those little things that was always all of the details. Just like whenever I'm drawing here, I get so micro. Or is it macro? Micro. It's micro. We'll go with micro. Alright, I dare say that looks pretty good. I know, like always, this thing's probably going to get cut off early, so I'm going to sign it, I'm going to sign off, but then I'm going to talk for a couple of minutes and we're going to go from there. So, get this a little smaller, like this, a little zoomed in. Alright, so for those of you viewing those stupid black bars, I'm hoping that's small enough for you to see the whole thing. I apologize, folks. I am still trying to figure out and troubleshoot while I'm doing 14 million other things. Like write and go to school meetings and whatnot. But anyways, thank you for bearing with me with that. We'll get down to the bottom of it. Excuse me. Let's take a peek here. Oh, I could have just hit the button there. I'm going to create Inception here in just a second. Oh, hello, son of a red shirt. And Michaela Schmid. No, I'm actually using white pencil. I apologize about that. I really do try to. Oh man, this is getting weird. Sorry. I really do try to show the full screen, which you can't. But it's a white pencil that I'm going back into on top of like brown paper. It's almost like I'm emulating charcoal. But I think it looks pretty good. So thank you for asking. All right. Yes. That's too much. It's too much. What happens if I do this? Oh. Let me. Okay, I don't know what's going on. This weird inception thing happening. Okay, yeah. Is it working? Oh, no. Here it comes. Well, that's getting weird. Okay. Anyways, I'm sorry. I am being absolutely silly. There's no reason for this. Hey, not a problem. I used my old setup. I could see your comments on the top of my screen, so I could answer them a lot better. Now I'm not getting them, so I'm kind of coming back to just asking. Just popping into the chat at the end here, and to answer any questions. And I really do appreciate you coming by. It means a lot to me. Anyways, I do got to bounce because looks like I have an email I need to get back to real quickly, and I have lots of other. Yeah, that is so weird to watch the little Inception window here. But yeah, I have work I got to get done. But thank you guys so much for coming and joining me late in the day. Thank you those who are watching later and seeing me create Inception in the little screen here. I don't even know what I'm doing. And until next time, get out there and make some art.